Welcome to the Brick and Rails 1148th New Social Environment. I'm Magli, a programs associate here at the Rail, and I have the pleasure of introducing this special pre-recorded conversation between artist Ai Weiwei and Rail publisher and artistic director Phong H. Bowie. This dialogue was filmed on January 2nd on the occasion of Weiwei's concurrent exhibitions in New York, Child's Play at Vito Schnabel Gallery, and What You See is What You See at Farshu. Ai Weiwei is renowned for making strong aesthetic statements that resonate with timely phenomena across today's geopolitical world. And Phong H. Bowie is an artist, writer, independent curator, and co-founder and publisher and artistic director of the Brooklyn Rail, Rail Editions, River Rail, and the Rail Curatorial projects. And with that, enjoy this conversation.
The book is so, as I say, it was so moving. I read it in a day and a half, and I love the poem that your father wrote. Maybe I should start reading it. Is that okay?
Sure, whatever.
Yahoto is called. It's written in 1980. It's almost as if a caravan is wending its way through town, a clamor of voices mingling with the tinkle of camel bells, the markets bursting as before, an incessant flow of carts and horses. But no, the splendid palace had lapsed into ruin of 1,000 years of joys and sorrow. Not a trace can be found. You who are living, live the best life you can. Don't count on the earth to preserve memory. That's very impressive. 1,000 years of joy and sorrow. Yeah, so I was thinking this when you were taking a flight or about to get on a plane for I think Hong Kong, Weiwei. That's when you got arrested by the CCP, secret police, for tax evasion. And it was in that 81 detention that
It
you
started, right?
Yeah.
I was, but I have a sense they're going to do something, but I would never know they do in that fashion because I'm under their control. There's about 2,000 civilians around my studio compound, and the daily police come in for some reason to check on the, electricity bill or whatever, to check on the personnel's residential card. So it's getting too frequent. So I know they're going to do something.
Yeah.
And but I never know they were doing in a way so secretly. They from the airport, and to take me into this. I put something on my face, so I totally doesn't know where they are driving me to.
Yeah.
They said they just need a conversation, but we drove. It takes like hours to go somewhere.
Yeah.
At first, I was trying to figure out, what kind of turn they're making because I'm very familiar with Beijing, but after a while I lost the track. I cannot tell where they take to me.
Yeah.
I try to feel the road condition and to hear the other vehicles, but they're getting quiet. Even some tractors appeared. I thought this must be very far from the city.
Yeah.
It took me to a location. Also, of course, my face still covered with this black hood, and they let me sit down. After 1 hour, they just suddenly pull out the sense was covered my face. I see a giant guy standing in front of me, very much like 007's movie, some kind of Russian style a muscle guy standing right in front of me.
Yeah.
So they started searching me. So it's very dramatic.
Wow.
Yes, from then I was being put in an unknown place by military police, and the story goes on.
Yeah, but was it there that you, as you mentioned in the beginning, that you began thinking about your life, but especially your father? You identify with your father. I mean, you grew up with him.
Yeah, but I never feel I'm so relate to him till I was sitting on this chair, and I tried to think what made me come to this point, become an enemy of a state, which is very serious matter.
Yeah.
Why they treat me in such a way that I remember 8 years ago, my father was being treated when he comes back from Paris. As a young man, he was sentenced for 6 years. Actually, that moment make me feel a little bit, have some joy in my mind. I'm not scared, but I do feel, finally I'm matching my father. True, because I was jealous of him. I thought,
Oh my God.
I would never ended up in jail. I grew up in communist society. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
It's a very safe
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
Till I got criticized and to write my blogs, I'm getting step by step become they must think I'm crazy or extremist or something.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was that moment that, I mean, I love the last line of the poem. Don't count on the earth to preserve your memory. And I think in a way, wherever you did, from being in that detention for 81 days, the decision to write, I don't know, it's a page turner. You're such an amazing writer, storyteller. So did that come with many practice or just more natural, you think?
I always admire writer. I always think writer is the highest skill or profession a human can ever relate to. We have a mind which can think, but we really need to record the traces of what we're thinking. That's the writing.
Yeah.
It's not just emotion. It's about history, memory, logic, and emotions mixed. So writing does all. So my father was a very good poet. So I always admire him, but I never can imagine I become a writer because I never had a formal education. We grew up in communist society through the Cultural Revolution. That means you have to destroy the memory. You have to erase whatever happened in past, and you want to establish a new world. Chairman Mao said, "You only establish a new world by destroying the old one." So we all believe in that. But if I come to you,
not your father, not the great poet, Ai Weiwei.
But I think they damaged him badly. Since he was exiled for 20 years. The past 20 years, he's forbidden to touch the pen. And he may just kill himself. Many of his colleagues commit suicide already. He did so, but he's not successful. So, it's a challenge about a life without memory. I walk into your library, you see all the books, all those paintings, drawings, all those traces human trying to make is to preserve the memory. We made such an effort to write down word by words, or to draw lines, or shades, just trying to leave some traces about ourselves.
Well, Nietzsche once said that any, anything that have no history is capable of being defined. And he also say there's no facts, only interpretations. So interpretation, preserving history, what he calls the internal return, is so important. I was thinking this is the most important thing, because when you were in New York, in the US for a while, went to Berkeley, Philadelphia first, and then eventually came to New York, and you met all these people. Allen Ginsberg was a friend of your father, and you were like a dry sponge. You didn't come to your own full maturity until you returned in 93 to care after your father. Is that a fair description to describe how you came to become yourself?
You're pretty kind to me. I didn't become myself till maybe even much later, 10 years later, after my father even passed away.
Yeah.
So what made me become myself, interestingly, is when I got on internet.
Mm.
It's not because I'm a capable artist or
Yeah.
I'm start collecting Chinese artifacts, old sense learning, but rather you need a channel, an output, which was I started writing my blogs. So then I really feel there's something I like to do. Just write commentary or essays about daily matter, argument about judicial system or social justice, human rights, freedom of speech. So daily I'm writing sometimes 3-4 articles. So that time I have no a time of 24 hours, but just a moment to sleep, then wake up, then sleep and wake up. Then because once I'm awakened, it's really identified by I'm writing. Other times I need to sleep. So that was a really enjoyable moment, and
Yeah.
I did over maybe 5 million words.
Wow.
So if I print it out, it would be 1 meter thick of writing, just on blogs. I got like a few, a few million or 100 million, 20 million viewers every day.
Wow.
I
Unbelievable.
got, it drove me crazy. It suddenly become a journalist, a lawyer, or make any kind of argument,
Yeah.
and you also publish yourself. You respond to people, anybody immediately,
Yeah.
with a big argument or
Yeah.
so. It's such a fun till
But you were ready to confront all of that. What I meant to say is this. I don't mean just the fact that you later produce works of art that have a certain value, collectible. It is a made object. I don't mean just that, which became very productive for you. No, I was thinking the image of the Tank Man of Tiananmen Square. I was thinking about why it became such a sensational, captivating image for the rest of the world. And I think in a way, as you know, that you grew up in the East, in China, I'm from Vietnam, the same thing can be said from India, someone from Japan even. I think all the differences between religion, one thing that is shared, whether it's Taoism, Confucianism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Shintoism, and what other religions that we don't even know, they share one thing in common is that we are not meant to be unique individual. In the East somehow, we are born to be part of the social fabric
we are part of nature.
of nature.
So only when we become a part of the nature, we become a mighty.
Yeah,
The life serves its purpose and functioning.
right.
It's very different from Western philosophy.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, when the whole world saw it, as I did, on June 5th, the day after the CCP violent crackdown on the Tiananmen protester, the tankmen were able, in temporarily few minutes, stop the advancing tanks of People Liberation Army. And to me, I read it as David against Goliath. It's an image from the Old Testament. It's a biblical image. I'm unique, you know? So the point is, it's so interesting. I don't know, when you came back in 93, I felt you become the reincarnation of the tankman. I don't know if that's a fair observation. Of course, it's my own observation. But did you feel that you became that somehow? You have the tenacity. They made him disappear. Okay, they could make you disappear. That's a different
Yeah, that's they made too many people disappear.
Right.
They tried to make me disappear,
Right.
but finally they reversed their decision. Anyhow,
Yeah.
and I don't.
But were you aware of that at all?
No, I didn't actually. I did everything because I'm in some way pretty innocent.
Yeah.
I don't measure this kind of danger like normally people would say, okay, you go one more step, you're going to drop down this cliff. So I really made the move. I want to see what cliff is, maybe it's not even cliff.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to go one step further.
Yeah.
So they say you cross many red lines. So I want to see what happens when you cross that line. Of course, very often you'll be damaged, and that's an excuse they give damage to you.
Yeah.
But still, by doing that, you're still questioning the legitimacy of those power. Who made that line, for what reason,
Yeah.
So sometimes the challenge sometimes is really necessary, but it's rather I did it a little bit unconsciously. I just think that's what I want to do. You cannot just always think about the consequence.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm fortunate. The consequence is not so bad. I was getting beaten. I had a hemorrhage in my brain, but I got a good surgery in Munich.
I remember.
And I recovered. So otherwise, I should die by 2009.
Yeah.
That's already 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, but still, we are sitting here to have a conversation.
But take back a little bit. If we go in the early 90s and leading to the 2000s, because that's when I really met you in Beijing first. When Alana Heiss and I came, 2007, we were going to do that big show, Spectacle. Will be her last swan song show that would take over the entirety of MoMA PS1 and maybe one floor at MoMA, remember? But of course the market crashed in 2008. So that ended the whole entire curatorial effort. But the argument that I made to the board of the director at MoMA was putting you in the same context as the tankman, Tiananmen Square. In other words, you managed to make monumental works, Weiwei. And I think in some way the CCP must have relate to that ambition to their own ambition, political ambition. I mean, it was a Machiavellian relationship. Does that make sense at all? I mean, nobody ever make that kind of work away.
Yeah, but the history is moving so fast. It's like a washing machine.
Yes,
It
yes,
just turns. You cannot really capture a solid image there.
right.
The only thing is it's still running, or it still turns and turns.
Yeah,
In China, we have an old saying. We say, one village or one town could be 30 years in east side of a river, then next 30 years become a west side of a river because the river flooding changes its course.
yeah,
Not even you stand still, you're 30 years on the east and 30 years on the west. So
Yeah.
that means history changes everything, even our perspective or attitude, position.
yeah,
It's not really depend on us because the whole landscape changed.
yeah, right,
We see so many things, right?
right,
Certain moment we see something very important, crucial, but very soon we see something else. Different point of view. So my attitude rather is it's just flowing in this under this waves.
yeah,
Yeah, basically you try to survive intellectually actually,
right,
because you don't want there's nothing you can hold. It's just hold there. It's not possible
yeah, yeah,
because that has become more challenging if you keep questioning
yeah,
your position in the past or your position now, and if you still can hold it on for tomorrow. So
But regardless the fact that speculative psychology can apply to somebody's life, their upbringing, their early formation, and whatnot, or the country itself. In other words, if you look at Russia, I mean, I'm sure China has been humiliated for a long time, beginning with the First and Second Opium War, with the Sino-Russian, with the Japanese, Sino-Japanese.
everything.
It's a long time.
Not so many people,
Yeah,
but you bring up such a crucial point because
Yeah.
I'm doing study of the past 200 years. Even just England
Yeah.
invaded China 3 times. First Opium War, Second Opium War, and the third time with 8 nations:
Yeah.
England, Germany, Russian, and French, Italy, Japan, and Russian, and Austria. 8 nations beat China only because they want China to open up the market.
yeah,
The trading,
yeah,
it's about same.
yeah,
It's political struggle, but it's more how to share this piece of cake.
yes.
Who take the biggest
Biggest
part.
bite, right?
And
Who get the biggest share? But still, it's so interesting, Weiwei, because see, not long ago, after Donald Trump sloganized "Make America Great Again,"
they have
he's-
to create a bigger part of the cake.
yeah, right,
Because you cannot really reduce the other part like China or other. They have to take their part because otherwise they cannot survive. So unless you make the cake bigger.
right. Yeah. Okay. So, but you can imagine. So, China's been lying on its back for a long time, and it observed the end of communism, of this, USSR, through Gorbachev, and it certainly didn't want that to happen in China.
China is taking a policy which China actually never really communist.
Yeah.
They're heavily influenced by communist Russia.
Yeah.
I mean communist Soviet.
Yeah.
But they, from very early, Chairman Mao realized that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So he more encouraged this kind of Chinese Confucius or Taoist philosophy.
Yeah.
And so it's empire. China has been empire for a long time. So there's a king and there's Chairman Mao never had a personal profit during the whole revolution.
Yeah.
He lost his brother. He lost his son in Korean War.
Mm-hmm.
He is just like a single man
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of books like your library.
Yeah.
On his bedroom, even on the bed, piled of all the books, history books.
Yeah.
He even started to read the English manifesto, by Karl Marx.
Mm-hmm.
Communist. When he was over 60, he had the English teacher
Yeah.
to teach him.
Yeah.
So he's really a classic emperor.
Yeah.
Who really just think about the nation
Mm-hmm.
and how to control the power,
Mm-hmm.
but dealing with many challenge
Yeah.
or challengers.
Yeah.
So China is never really communist, but also never really capitalist.
Yeah.
Because he even pays his own rent.
Mm-hmm.
He has a salary. It's about I don't know, around 500 U.S. Chinese money. That time maybe a few $100.
Mm-hmm.
It could be. And he has his pajama have all like 20 years of use, and a lot of holes just packed with like 20 or 30
Patches.
yeah, patches. Yes.
Yeah.
He's a thinker. He's really
Yeah.
a reader, a thinker, and a kind of philosopher.
But he was very fearful of other thinker.
He's
He had managed
very fearful for other thinkers or liberal thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But to be frank, most of them cannot even challenge with him.
Yeah.
Because they're not in the same position.
Yeah.
Their
Of course.
argument a little different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of people are killed.
Yeah.
Not directly killed, but being put in the concentration camp and
Yeah.
dead. It's
Yeah.
thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions.
Yeah. Yeah.
My father is among them.
Yeah.
So then, if you talk about historical issues, perspective,
Mm-hmm.
China today become a state capitalism
Mm-hmm.
because they have to challenge the West
Yeah.
only by applying the capitalism
Absolutely.
principle. Otherwise, how can
Absolutely.
you challenge?
Yeah.
But still, they want a state control. They
Yeah.
don't want
So it's a hybrid. Maintain the discipline of, Marxist, Leninist,
Mm-hmm.
Maoist, communist ideology or orthodoxy.
ideology
Yeah.
to a degree.
To some degree.
That means the common good is for the people.
You're right. Yeah.
But they try to. You don't know how many people who is corrupt officials they have been put in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds, thousands.
Yeah. Wow.
Very high level.
Mhm.
State level.
Yeah.
Every day someone gets arrested,
Yeah.
and they corrupt billions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's a constant war.
Yeah.
It's a culture war.
Yeah.
It's not a political war. It's something. I always wonder why they need to to accumulate so much money.
Mm-hmm.
They're already in such a high position.
Yeah.
They can really, live their life well and serve the people, serve the country, right? Have some dignified
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
But seems not. From
Yeah.
military to hospital to education, every system,
Yeah.
people are totally corrupt.
Well, the point of corruption was clearly revealed in your monumental piece at the Kunst, the House de Kunst. I'm so sorry. The remembering intonation. So that's a good testament of the corruption of how those school building was built cheaply, inadequately.
That's
In the
really,
Sichuan,
really insignificant case. It's
Yeah.
very small.
Yeah.
But I want to narrow it down. I want to say, let's make this case solid.
Yeah.
To find all those dead students' name, birthday. We didn't make even political argument. We said, just tell us what their name is and how old are they when they pass away. And it's obvious they should not die. They should not die in vain. They should be remembered. Of course, that can me into all kind of trouble.
Yeah.
Because my attitude and my way of to practice, I don't just make empty words. I have to realize my words, to practice.
Yeah.
Not just scarce them.
No, but it bring back to your brilliant use of repetition. We in the difference between the East and the West. However, thousands of years it had trying to mediate. There's people who gone to the West, come back, and there's people who gone to the East, come back to the West. It's fascinating, Weiwei. Just as the image of a Buddha meditating under the Bodhi tree, and he's trying to chant and meditate until he no longer there. The whole idea of nirvana is that you're not being there. As opposed to Christ on the cross being crucified, his physical presence is strong. The amplification of his being there is strong. It's the opposite of Buddha.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, first time I think about the images.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting to think like that, because when you were in New York, you saw everything. You admired Warhol. Warhol deployed repetition very interestingly too, whether it's Campbell soup, whether little box, or where 4 times, 16 times Marilyn Monroe or Elvis Presley. The repetition is interesting. But that's also part of the minimalists, based on their puritanical, idea.
Interesting thought and connection.
Yeah.
Warhol is a person I admire his way of pushing this material life to a meaningless degree.
Right.
So it reached the Buddhism emptiness.
Yeah.
When you talk about he did those repetition of the prayers and repeatedly make some meaningful image become meaningless, become abstract actually.
Yeah, some of them did.
I think
Absolutely.
they all become abstract
Yeah.
if you think about Monroe or
Yeah.
soap cans. They are just abstract symbols,
Yeah. Yeah.
symbolic,
Yeah.
but not in the way of symbolic, but rather to this meaning at the same time.
Right.
See, his or who very often maybe even being and understand and accepted,
Yeah.
because in the West this emptiness is hard to be described.
Mm-hmm.
Only a few people approach like John Cage or or
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
But the most they are really more towards the Christ on the cross.
Yes.
It's very different way, right?
Yeah.
It's,
Absolutely.
so
Yeah, but the what I meant to say is that the CCP saw your work by massive, monumental way of deploying repetition, building up a mass. We talk about remembering peace, but there's also, of course, the 100 million painted sunflower sheet that was on the floor of the Tate Modern Terminal. That's huge. That's a massive undertaking production.
that's uh, that's huge. I would
It's
say
huge.
if because I never say it's a one, because it takes time, effort,
Yeah.
many families in the months of months, under these people added up together like a drip of water.
Yeah. Right.
Then Chinese would say, if you don't take those drips, there will be no river flowing.
Yeah.
So if you don't make those steps, you cannot travel for thousands of miles. So it's all about the time and about added small effort, very regular, normal effort that creates something massive. Or so one standing on this 100 million sunflower seeds, I would say this is like it's like endless. It's like but I rethink that is less than 10% of Chinese population.
Mm-hmm.
My God, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So many people would.
1,420 something million.
Yeah. Then
people.
those people, not just people.
Yeah.
They have to eat. They have to have happiness. They have to have housing. It's a big task.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
So you always want to catch the reality with this kind of very wild imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have two parallel realities there.
Yeah.
I think very often we draw a easy conclusion, but the real life is full of joy and sorrows, even just one family or one friend.
Mm-hmm.
Think how many people just we know pass away, or how many newborn babies was born.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fourth largest country, but it had the biggest population in the world.
Second biggest now.
Yeah.
India just passed it.
India just eclipsed it.
Yeah, India is number one now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, it is not as big as in terms of landmass. Let's put it that way.
That's true.
But still, have you ever met President Xi? You must have met him through the
No,
Olympics.
I haven't met him. No, I didn't met him, and I don't think he's interested to meet me either. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But I think in many ways, I can understand what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because he has a position to think China certainly cannot be part of the United States.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Like the way that Putin felt the same way for
Yeah.
Russia.
Both of them have share the same fundamental belief.
But that is so interesting. That's what's so complex in their relationship as much as is the CCP relationship with your own work, because in some way your own ambition is to make works that preserve a sense of history, right? But at the same times, now they see it, they've been observing it, what you made, now they want it. Because it is, after all, he declared to make China great again. What does that mean? It's like it's the oldest long-lasting empire in the world. 2,000 plus year.
Well, we are living a big complex of we cannot.
I mean, America, it's only for 248 years.
It's true. It's young, still unstable young teenage.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good. That means there's a way still can develop.
Yeah. Yeah.
China basically trying to renew itself. I don't think they're interested in expand their power that much, but they want to survive. They have to develop this so-called One Belt, One Road policy.
Yeah.
So they are very much connected with third world nations, Africa or South America.
Well, both East Coast and the West Coast Africa just mostly to have maritime base, to have access to water, because it is a land-mass country. America have the advantage to have both the Atlantic and the Pacific together.
Sure.
So that's how it gained the maritime power after England, the previous empire.
Yeah.
England learned that also from the Dutch.
Sure.
But to focus a little bit now on your admiration for Warhol, we know. Your admiration for Duchamp, we know. Right here.
He's truly an individualist.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing more than that,
Yeah.
because that opens up the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And you knew that already when you in New York.
Yes, I was fortunate.
I like your way to describe when you went to
early
Philadelphia.
times, yes.
Yeah. At the Arensberg collection, the glass.
Arensberg collection was such a precise, like chess play, put his work there.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good move in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I love the museum.
I do too. So we know the value, the invention of the ready-made. We know the amazing seal screen consuming, of the object in Warhol. But what about Rosa Boys, who believe that everyone should be artists? Everyone is an artist. The aspiration.
I think he is great as aspiration, but still, he has a very heavy jacket. Germany.
Yeah.
That is very heavy.
Yeah.
It's still very heavy.
You mean the history?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He somehow cannot really get rid of the birthmark.
Yeah.
He's not like
Yeah.
U.S. artist, doesn't matter Warhol or Liechtenstein or those generations. They're just have fun, like a kindergarten.
Yeah.
Just have fun, but that fun really made a new history.
Yeah.
So we always have to think about artist's work as where you come from. You're part of the past, or you're part of current or future.
Yeah.
I think that's a way to really define an artist.
Yeah. to walk one foot forward, maybe one step forward, maybe two steps backward, or sometimes vice versa. So it's that mediation between time that belong to past and time being rooted in the now, in present. And in a way, that maybe is the most liberating way of thinking of history for you particularly, because you brought something to China only to make the Chinese philosophical tradition thinking about art come to light in a way. I mean, the fact that you have found a way to get these people to use their skill, their hand labor skill, their artisan, their techniques to make things for you. Preserve that tradition, the craftsmanship. Otherwise, would get lost. Weiwei. I mean, those people who make the porcelain, the craft, the sunflower seed hand painted.
I,
I mean, you make so many amazing.
well, I'm
Wow.
just go with the flow.
Yeah,
As you know, as a culture or culture product, as artists,
yeah,
we are also product of those craftsmanship.
mm-hmm,
We are product of what have been written
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
in poetry or writing. If you haven't read that book, if you don't continuously
mm-hmm.
make an argument,
Yeah,
then you get lost.
yeah,
Because our life is only maximum 100 years. Then the new generation completely doesn't know what's going on.
yeah,
It could be completely renewed.
yeah,
So I think that's why history is so important.
yeah,
Because if we forget everything,
yeah,
then we will never gain anything.
yeah,
Because we don't know where we come from.
yeah, yes,
So we become mad.
yeah, yeah,
So that's why I don't believe in just technology development. We have to
mm-hmm,
trust or depends on our humans' ability to memorize, use
Yeah.
our hands, or use our to communicate with our language, or to extend our emotions
yeah,
in certain degree.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's no meaning of thinking. It's just become AI products,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
right? Because
Yeah,
they can
yeah.
gather enough information. They can quickly give some kind of mediocre answer,
mm-hmm,
and but we are not justified by that.
yeah.
We still
Well, I mean, you just make some remark about boys having not exactly freely mediate with the heavy burden of Germany history. But Chinese history is also very rich, very long and rich. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is that where does that playfulness, the aspect of your playfulness, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Because, everybody is so serious. I mean, you read Chinese literature, you read Chinese philosophy, put aside the fact that certain group of Chinese artists were sent to study under the Western influence, the atelier system, the academy system. I don't mean that. I meant like the kind of playfulness, the liberating means that you were able to inject into the scene when you came back in the, I mean, maybe late 90s? You start doing it. You create a lot of things.
I think
Inspire a lot of.
maybe if I, because you really dig it deep, but I only think about now because I never really think like you think about those very deep questionings. I would say Chinese culture have one character.
Yeah.
They don't have a religion.
Yeah.
So they have a, they are very much like a huge family with 10 or hundreds or thousands or millions characters.
Mm-hmm.
They all have their own argument.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, Confucius, Taoism, or you know,
That's true.
all kind of arguments, or
Yeah.
some come from outside like Buddhism,
Mm-hmm.
and they never really, nothing can dominate. And but all those things have one single belief: we are just travelers,
Mm-hmm.
and we are part of nature. Nature, when we are become very, very can be proud, and only because we appreciate the nature,
Yeah.
and also because we renounce the individualism, because
Mm-hmm.
that is also the bright part of the nature.
Yeah.
So that's why they can renew themselves, because they never really hold one position. They don't
Mhm.
have this holy idea,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Not like Christianity.
No,
Yeah.
or Muslim or
Yeah.
whatever,
Muslim. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So we don't have that kind of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we don't have that trouble, we don't have believers, and we don't have fake believers. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
even today, people, a lot of fake believers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's easier for China to adjust their individuality,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
personality, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. So I feel that's very rich. A grandma in a very remote village without education, but can be so
Mm.
smart and intelligent and kind, can be just like a holy person,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't really belong to any.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, right?
I do. I do.
Because
Yeah.
she or he gets the most important courses from the surviving,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean,
Mhm.
human, after all, we are animal trying to surviving. Doesn't matter you want to go to the moon or you want to shoot so many satellite, but still,
Yeah.
we are animal. Just
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
at a certain time the clock is a tick tock, tick tock. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
we come to the end.
Yeah. Yeah. um, where does the playful aspect come from?
Playful aspect come from we always feel.
I'm talking about
We
you
have
specifically.
I always have humor. I question my position.
Yeah.
When I feel something might be right, I immediately think it should not be that way. It can be the other.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Yeah.
So otherwise is very important, or neither nor is can be very important.
Yeah.
Not just yes or no.
Got it.
So then, in that way, you're playful.
Yeah.
You're playful. It's not. It's because self-contradictory,
Mm-hmm.
and the game can still going. Otherwise, it's dead end. The game.
Yeah. So life is the game.
Yes, as long as we breathe, as long as this morning I come to see you,
Mm-hmm.
and the game goes on.
Yeah. So that's how the child play became the show for Vito.
True, child play is it's about how we use this limited boys game, blocks,
Mm-hmm.
40 colors
Yeah.
to structure most sophisticated political image or culture image,
Mm-hmm.
and to give the personal interpretation and make me feel sometimes connected
Mm-hmm.
to the reality.
Yeah. And the same apply to the show at Fosu.
Yeah, for sure. Show
What you
also.
see, what you see is what you see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting sentence by
Frank Stella.
Frank Stella.
Yeah.
What you say is what you say.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. It's a kind of Buddhism thinking.
Yeah.
And
In some way, he's very much close to Warhol too.
it's true. It's insists this kind of unspeakableness.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like Liechtenstein says, the one cannot be said should be kept silent.
That's right. It's so true. But yeah, I've been reading the Book of Way
Mm-hmm.
lately,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a line which I know that I kind of wanted to start it when our last interview. When man enters into life, he's weak, he's weak and tender, and when he dies, he becomes tough and strong. That's why the tough and strong belong to death, weakness and tender lie to life. So if our weapon is too strong, we will never be victorious.
I think anyone to be too strong, that is suicidal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so simple.
So can you go back to China anymore?
I can.
I know your mother doesn't want you to
Yeah,
go.
I can go any moment. Actually, I have no problem.
Okay, good.
I used to say, they said, "Oh, why don't you go? Everybody knows it's dangerous."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm not going to go because they should go."
Yeah.
I was boasting so much online, so everybody laughing. I left very much. The reason is I have to protect my son.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be under such civilian condition all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think psychologically it would affect him. I want him to be safe. This is very, very selfish. Very selfish part. But I have no problem. I can go. I can even be in jail, end up in jail, which is also fine.
Yeah.
A lot of people spend a much, much longer time to serve their belief, and
Yeah.
and but I'm not criminal,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so I don't think they should put me in jail either.
Mhm.
That's why I believe I have nothing to be scared, but rather if that is meaningful to be back. It doesn't really serve other people because my voice cannot be heard in China. If I go back, I just like one more dogs running on street, or it doesn't really.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve me as a functional creature.
Yeah.
My art cannot be showing, my name cannot appear on the line. It's kind of crazy.
They erased or
Oh yeah, they immediately.
Yeah.
So they have been doing that before they pushed me out for a long time. I was just laughing, why my name has to be appeared anyway. So I still have a lot of fun, I still can go to good restaurant, have chat with friend, and play poker game, which I can have endless fun.
Okay.
But still, if you have to hide me somewhere My mom doesn't know where I'm going, and there's no lawyer, and they just constantly interrogate me repeatedly with nonsense.
Yeah, yeah,
It lowers down my judgment about what a nation is
hmm,
about,
yeah,
the integrity of the party.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's, I don't want to put myself in that position again.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for this so much. Are you planning to do another book or anything?
Yes, if I really have something planning to do, I love to do book
Yeah,
above anything else.
yeah.
Yeah.
So writing became part of your
Writing
pictorial
is
arsenal, creative
very
arsenal.
luxurious.
Yeah,
If you establish that in the earlier time, that means you don't have to do anything else.
yeah,
You're lonely.
yeah,
You have a solitude.
yeah,
But that's very luxury to have a solitude, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
capable. But this book, simple book, take me 10 years. Every day I have to rewrite it.
yeah,
I have to put pressure, like a million words into this. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think the structure is so strong and the prose is delightful,
Thank you so much.
and it's just in a day and a half I read the whole thing,
Thank you.
and it's so good. Thank you, Weiwei.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
To see you.
Yeah.
That concludes the conversation. Thank you, Weiwei and Fong. Thank you to the teams at Weiwei Studio, Vito Schnabel Gallery, and Far Shu for your support in preparing for this dialogue. We'd also like to thank the Terra Foundation for American Art for sponsoring our NSE program and making conversations like this one possible, and for their support of our growing archive, which you can view on the Rails YouTube channel. And most of all, thank you all. Take care.